Oh, I'm sorry.
No, I still haven't heard,
Wait, we got to order. Commissioner Hayden, sorry.
No, I had a question.
Peralta, HTV.
South Shore. I'm trying to think if we could
Actually, Commissioner Hayden still had the floor.
Oh, I'm sorry.
No, the point I want to make, I'm
First of all, a while ago when you made some clarification about how you do these things, I appreciate it, because it looked like, to me, in terms of going through this the first time, every time we talked about adding $1, I had to right away tell you where we took it away. So that makes the discussion a little bit more general when we're talking about the unincorporated general fund dollars that we're looking at for the cable networks. Then we go back to page 141 and look at the general fund unincorporated to see where at some point we could take some dollars off. And I guess that indirectly answers your question, Mark. But here again, the same issue for me. I think that they have weathered 7 years of no additional funding. They're going from 355 to 0. We are absolutely precluding, except for what Tammy's going to do. Tammy, you're going to have a challenge, huge ones, you know it, and we appreciate your cooperation. We are going to eliminate the opportunity for our unincorporated citizens to watch these First Amendment shows. And I know the relationship has never been that outstanding with this board and that issue, but nonetheless, it is what it is. And now all of a sudden, they might be televising to the city and not to the unincorporated areas. People are not going to like that because they already don't like it. So again, my proposal is we consider at least giving them half of the funding, see where they go. They're going to have a heck of a business plan, but at least we're giving them a shot. We're not killing them.
That motion,
Commissioner.
Issue, or is it? Well, if you're talking about public access type shows using the county.
It was remember the Silk Barrel show that was on when you had guests that were there and you had a moderator and they talked about subjects of the day. That's what I believe is the.
that's the motion right now, is that we come up with government with community related access, government related access where individuals are coming in. And I think there's a way for us to do that. Privately owned stations can do what but there's a difference between privately owned stations and publicly owned government stations, but I think we should be able to find a way to navigate the First Amendment issue and still provide.
I think we can probably find.
But when you open it up a little, sorry, Tammy, I mean, it's wonderful what you do. I don't mean it that way in a critical way. I mean that in a positive way, but there's a way for us to turn to the market a little bit.
Do you want to rephrase that?
Not enough coffee, I apologize. I didn't mean it in a negative way, but I think there's a way for us to liven it up.
It's like, there goes those awards. Okay, is the motion to, is the motion to work to assign it once again? This is our intent, work with the county attorney, and the first to bring back the package.
Yes.
Please record your vote.
Motion carried 7-0.
Okay, Commissioner Polito.
And the second motion, in an effort to give them at least an attempt to survive. Instead of going from 355, 443 to 0, I would make a motion that we at least give them half, see if that helps them with a game plan, reduce it to 177, 722.
Sure. Other comments or questions? Please record your vote.
Motion carried 4-3. Commissioners Blair, Hagan, and Norman voting no.
Thank you, gentlemen.
The next item is the item F3, restore funding for crisis center. That is a county.
Commissioner Bigabottom.
I had to step out during the vote before the crisis center. Is it possible to bring this back up so I could reread I don't know what the parliamentary procedure is here.
Just ask for
Reconsideration.
Reconsideration.
Right.
Yeah, if you could reread that.
Move it.
Reconsider. Yeah.
Is there a second?
Thank you.
Please record your vote.
Motion carried 7-0.
Okay, that was Commissioner Folita's motion about the funding. Is that what?
Crisis
Yes,
Center?
I had stepped out. I want to make sure I understood the motion.
Well, to restore it, but I think what you probably need, Mr. Higginbotham, if you want some clarification, is what Commissioner Norman explained about.
Is it the Sports Authority, or is it, which,
No, it was on the HTV funding.
Are you talking the public access channel vote?
Yes. Did we go? I
Mr.
didn't miss
you
it.
No,
vote?
you didn't, you voted on that one.
Okay. Did you?
The only thing I think you missed was the reinstituting the finances for the crisis center.
Are you saying you didn't understand your vote to support the public access?
That was, I stepped out during that debate,
No.
and
But you voted on it.
It doesn't, by Robert Rules of Order, you can reconsider though.
I wanted to reconsider that one.
We did vote to reconsider.
Yeah, so we've already done that, so you can,
There should be a motion then.
who was
Commissioner Felito, you need to make the original motion again.
I did.
Is there a second? Second. Please record your vote. This is the funding, half funding for the public access channel.
Now, I was out for, maybe it was longer than I thought. It was on the F5 funding.
That's what I'm talking, it's a public
Okay,
access,
that's-
Speak Out
okay.
Tampa Bay.
Yes.
The motion that was originally made
Half
was
there.
restore half funding.
Okay.
And that motion has been remade by Commissioner Felito, seconded by Commissioner Sharp. Any other debate or comment before we vote?
Thank you.
Okay, it's restore half funding. Commissioner White.
I'm sorry.
Our
Administrator, we were talking about, I believe it was item 1 and 2, and then when we got back to 4 and 5, we're saying that, if I heard you right, we had already basically incorporated 4 and 5 into 1 and 2, so we were really skipping over them, so we weren't doing them individually. Am I correct? And I think that may be.
Well, by making the decision that you made in F1, where you directed us to try to come up with a combination plan for HTV and tech,
Can
I think that answers number 4.
And I think that's where Mr. Higginbotham got confused. Maybe he wanted to vote on these individually, and when we got to 4 and 5, you were saying that, well, Wynn essentially took care of 4 and 5.
No.
And 1 and 2 is the way I understood
We
it.
split them.
We split them.
Right.
We voted to try to incorporate the education channel, and then Commissioner Felito offered an amendment which failed, which was to give them half funding for the education channel. Then we went to the issue of public access. There we also tasked Tammy with trying to incorporate some form of community access, but recognizing that our First Amendment issues, we decided that there we would have a vote, which was to give them half funding for just for the public access, which originally passed 4-3.
But also the fact of asking them to set up that Cyril Farrell type.
Right, exactly, yes.
But we did that separately at your request.
We did it separately, and that passed, and then we went for funding, which also passed.
Half funding, yes.
So we're going to try to set up the regardless of what happens,
Okay, we voted to reconsider then, the half funding is what has happened. Commissioner Hagan.
I just want to point out one thing with respect to the educational channel. Although, we voted to ask staff to, to come back with a consolidation plan, I guess, for lack of a better term. The reality is, should that, and we also voted not to give them half funding, I guess, in the interim. We still have the option during our public hearings that if we're not able to come back with a plan that works, we still have the option at that time if we wanted to restore a certain level or of funding for the education channel during the public
That's a
hearing.
good point, Mr.
So I
Higgins.
just wanted to
But we
point that out as well.
do have a motion on the floor though to restore half funding for Speak Up Tampa Bay. That is, the motion we considered has been restated. Please record your vote.
I'm sorry, and that's just that particular.
Line item, Speak Up Tampa Bay only.
Motion failed 2-5. Commissioners Blair, Hagan, Higginbotham, Norman, and White voting no.